This garden weather segment is sponsored by Walmart Lawn and Garden, and we want to start out showing you where you still have the possibility, typically at this time of the year, to see some freezing conditions in the early morning hours. So you probably don't want to do some planning here yet, but you certainly can do some of your planning to the south. As we look at our low temperatures for tonight, you can see some of the chilly conditions that we are still experiencing in the west, so you certainly need to hold off for a while. We have been getting quite a bit of rainfall, certainly in the last several days, and you can continue to see some of the areas where we have been picking up the rainfall. We need it in the northeast. We're getting more activity than we want, certainly today and yesterday in the Central Plains, and you can see the rainfall amounts that we are seeing. We'll take a look at some of the places and some of the things that you may be wanting to plant around the country, and when we come back, we're going to have more information on the deadly tornado outbreak.
This program was sponsored by Walmart. Great plants, great prices, always at Walmart.
You could say I have an addiction to flowers.
We love to garden. The thing is, there's always something that you need.
It can be expensive, but that's why we're here.
I have over 36 petunias in one bed alone.
People know they can afford to shop here.
I think we're going to do some begonias here pretty soon.
Yeah,
we
need
that.
some begonias.
And we'd have great prices on begonias.
Great plants, great prices. Always at Walmart.
Walmart makes it possible for us to have a yard we can be proud of.
What a nice thing to say.
At Wyndham Hotels and Resorts, we have a way of performing for our guests. A way of responding. Even a way of surprising. So it should come as no surprise that Wyndham is the official hotel of another extraordinary performer, Cirque du Soleil.
Weather at the top of the world. Experience it for yourself with the Weather Channel on Everest. Watch coverage of the Millennium Expedition tonight at 9 on Weather Center.
Oh my gosh, great. I know. It's such a... Yeah, I know. And now we have to... Oh my gosh, Brian's going to be there.
Now 100% of the people can get on the internet, because when you buy a Gateway Essential PC with an Intel Celeron processor as low as $37 a month, you'll get the internet included. Call 1-800-GATEWAY, click or come in. We talk to 50,000 people a day. We know the internet is calling you. Get a Gateway Essential PC with a 400 megahertz Intel Celeron processor, and we'll give you a year on the internet.
The Weather Channel is brought to you by this cable or satellite provider. Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel. Coming up, get the forecast for the next 7 days in your weekly planner.
Paying too much for car insurance isn't any smarter. Geico. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Am I on? Geico Direct could save you hundreds of dollars on car insurance. Result?
Smaller bill.
Geico. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more.
Good morning. Thanks so much for joining us here at the Weather Channel. I'm Heather Tesch. I know a lot of you have tuned in because you want to hear about some of the severe weather we are seeing today and also some of the severe weather we experienced yesterday and in the overnight hours. And we will have some video of some of the tornadoes, and we will get more information from our storm analyst, John Scala, coming up at the bottom of the hour. So stick around. That's coming up in just a few minutes. I'm going to quickly step you through right now the weekly planner. Certainly, as we've been talking about throughout the morning, we have the potential for a very serious situation through the plains today, and we're going to continue to watch more severe weather. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect in Oklahoma, Mississippi, and Texas. We also have a tornado warning in effect for Atoka County, and this is in southeast Oklahoma. So again, these areas certainly under the gun for today. We'll continue to watch this system as it spreads eastward as we head into tomorrow. That threat is going to move to the north, affecting Minnesota down through Arkansas with the potential of some of those strong storms. Quiet in the west, and we'll continue to see some wet conditions in the northeast. As we head through Thursday, we'll see that threat shifting over a little bit to the east, and then we'll finally see a diminished threat as we head into Friday, and we will see some showery conditions in the northeast. More wet weather continues to pull into the Pacific Northwest as we move through the week. Temperatures, the warm stuff, it's right in here. We're going to see some very warm conditions, coolest conditions where we have the unsettled weather. You can also see that in the northeast where we have the drizzly and wet conditions today. We're going to continue to see some of that cooler air starting to work its way further over, and then as we head into Thursday, we'll see some of that coolest air right in here working its way into the Great Lakes region as we move through the week. Time now, we're going to take a look quickly at our weekend outlook. It's a little ways out, but I know some of you are interested in what's happening, and we'll start out looking at our average highs. By the way, this is sponsored by Preen, and as we head toward the weekend, you can see temperatures certainly are starting to warm, and they'll continue to warm as we head through spring, and we will see temperatures actually on Saturday at this point. This is what we're thinking right now. You can see some of that cooler air right in place here, but very warm conditions surging up through the plains, and at least we'll see some quiet conditions through the plains and in the south, but we will have some showery conditions in the Pacific Northwest, and also you can see through the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, and into the Northeast. We're going to have some scattered showers around, possibly an isolated thunderstorm in Florida as well. Sunday, maybe some lingering showers in the Northeast, and we'll also see some fairly quiet conditions through much of the central portions of the country, but we will see some unsettled weather you can see in the Pacific Northwest and starting to move into the Southwest, into Texas. Once again, we could see some thunderstorms. This is for Sunday now, and again, some of the higher elevations, we could see the threat of some snowfall, so still seeing some snow on the map. We'll stick around. I know a lot of you want to hear about some of the severe weather. We'll have everything coming up in just a couple of minutes after this.
An outbreak of tornadoes twists through parts of the plains, leaving paths of death and destruction. Is there more trouble on the way? Stay tuned for your complete forecast just ahead on Weather Center.
This program was sponsored by Preen. Discover the joys of weed-free gardening with Preen. Preen and Green from Greenview.
While my husband Bob here takes care of the lawn, he's leaving the flowers and garden to me. That's because a few years ago, I discovered Preen, America's favorite flower and garden weed preventer. Preen's a breeze to use. Just sprinkle the granules into the soil and you're done worrying about weeds for months. And look how beautiful this garden is. It's simple. Preen, no weeds, no work, plenty of compliments, guaranteed. Hey, King, how's that lawn coming? Sorry, ladies, he's taken. If you've been using Preen to keep your garden beautiful, try these Greenview products. They'll do the same for your lawn.
Shaking up healthy cooking with Mrs. Dash.
Today, we're cooking with skinless, boneless chicken breasts and Mrs. Dash garlic and herb. It's 100% natural herbs and spices. There's no salt or MSG, just the good stuff.
Call for more recipes.
Today, we study the enemy, the humanoids after us.
Outsmart the bugs with Terminix. We'll be there when you need us.
And the most dangerous, Terminix eradicator.
Call 1-800-TERMINIX. No bugs, no hassle.
This is Jane.
Hi, I was coming down. I'm in sales.
This is Jane's car.
Traveling sales.
Hence Jane's problem.
Nationwide insurance.
That's why this is Jane's Insurance Company. The company with round-the-clock claim service and a promise to help put your car back together just as you remember it, just as soon as possible. Ah, and this would be Jane's smile. Different needs, different solutions. Nationwide, on your side.
Over 13 million satisfied insurance and financial services customers throughout the U.S.
Here's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Looking at the deadly power of nature, this tornado whipping up debris through the air was one of the killer twisters that leveled whole neighborhoods in Oklahoma and Kansas. At least 45 people are dead from the storms in the two states. The deadly situation is far from over. There is severe weather in the plains again at this hour. This is a special edition of Weather Center. I'm Heather Tesch. The tornado tragedy and the current severe situation are the top stories. Dallas is just one city that could see thunderstorms today from the unstable air mass. And we'll take a quick check around the country. And you can see Minneapolis right now has some clouds. You could see some showers moving in later. Your morning is sunny in Los Angeles, but showers remain on and off in the metro area in New York City. Now for the latest on the tornado tragedy in the plains, we're going to go to Marshall Seese in the Forecast Center.
Thanks, Heather. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us here at the Weather Center. I wish it was a better occasion to join us, however. Last night, we had severe weather, tornadic outbreaks in Oklahoma and in Kansas, both Oklahoma City, Moore, Oklahoma, and Wichita, Kansas, very hard hit. Here are some of the current totals. At least 40 people killed in Oklahoma, 5 people in Kansas. More tornado warnings and watches early this morning, of course. Big twister lasted 4 hours in Oklahoma. Some reports indicating it was at least a mile wide. Nearly 2,000 homes destroyed in Oklahoma, too. Let me just give you a quick statement out of the Storm Prediction Center. Outbreak of severe thunderstorms, including a few strong tornadoes expected over parts of the southern and central plains and the Mississippi Valley later today through Tuesday. And it's already begun this morning. Let's take a look at some of the storm damage reports. Obviously, numerous reports of tornadoes. Not every report is associated with a distinct tornado. There can be multiple reports on tornadoes. And this damage frame indicates just that which has occurred early this morning with a tornado that also touched down south and east of Ponca City this morning. Briefly, fortunately, there's a tornado watch in effect until 11 o'clock Central Daylight Time for this portion of Oklahoma and Texas. It has been cut back a little bit by the Storm Prediction Center, mostly to the south, but it still includes the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Now, how bad was it last night? Several big tornadoes moved to the northeast through Lawton, Chickasha, Moore, and toward Tulsa. Interstate 40 and Interstate 35 both had problems. Both were shut down at times overnight. Wichita, Kansas, a tornado to the right over the city and one to the east of the city. Now, if you were to rank these and take a look at these in terms of what they would be, this could be ranked the 6th deadliest. And I'll show you that frame in just a moment, but first I want to take you, here's the frame. This could be the 6th deadliest, 45 deaths in Oklahoma alone so far. That's the latest report now. And it is certainly the deadliest since 1947, April 9th, which was in Woodward, where 116 fatalities were recorded. Here's what it looked like. This is another view of the tornadoes that ripped through Oklahoma. This one was near Newcastle. This is south of Oklahoma City. The tornadoes whipped up debris with such force that whole neighborhoods were leveled. Recognizable debris from Oklahoma City was found about 40 miles away in Chickasha. Also heard reports that it was Chickasha debris in Oklahoma City. This is how it looks this morning in Oklahoma City. The immense wreckage is tossed in every direction. The search is on for people who may be trapped in the damage, and that's the problem this morning. We talked to a member of the Red Cross earlier who said teams are going to be checking the remnants of buildings and overturned cars for fatalities. It's feared that the number of fatalities may increase dramatically. So that tornado watch is still in existence. Let's take you for a look at some of the warnings out there for this morning, and then we're going to go up to John Scala, who is our severe weather specialist here at the Weather Channel. You see numerous reports of lightning. We have a batch of severe weather in Mississippi, in Arkansas, and in Oklahoma, and we can detail each one of these for you as we check first with the radar out of Oklahoma City. This cell that looks like it might be splitting into two cells is in Atoka County, for which there is a tornado warning for the next 15 minutes. It's moving northeast at about 25 miles per hour. And we also have severe thunderstorm warnings for other areas of Oklahoma, notably eastern Canadian County and Oklahoma County. That's in the Oklahoma City area. We've had reports earlier of severe weather and now more reports of severe weather. These are all moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. Also, Nowata County in extreme northeast Oklahoma. That's for these cells that are moving into southeast Kansas, and it's in southeast Kansas that we have a severe thunderstorm warning as well. That for Labette County and southern Montgomery counties, that for these cells here, notably these. We also have severe thunderstorm warnings for the state of Arkansas, including Pulaski County, which is the home county to Little Rock. We also have another one that has been issued in Arkansas. This one further to the north and west in Arkansas around Lonoke County. That's also down the Little Rock area. But that cell in extreme northwestern Arkansas looks formidable as well. Well, for information now on what we can expect for the rest of the day today and whether it'll be a replay of tomorrow, we want to go to our severe weather specialist, Dr. John Scala, in the severe control. John, what's it look like?
Well, Marshall, if there's any doubt in your mind as to whether we're going to wait a little while for the activity to kind of get its act together again, the activity is in place right now. We're seeing more thunderstorms, more warnings are being issued, and at the bottom of the hour, last time we talked, there was a rapid development of what appeared to be a tornadic supercell in southeastern Oklahoma, and that was the warning that you were talking about for, I think it was Atoka County. Let's take a look at the water vapor imagery. This will set the stage. The water vapor is showing us the motions in the mid portions of the atmosphere, and there's a very strong mid and upper level jet maximum or wind maximum that's coming across the four corners and into West Texas, and that is supplying the upper level energy that's going to fuel these storms. In the very lowest levels, there's a lot of moisture coming out of the Gulf of Mexico, and that really spells a problem now for portions of the lower Mississippi Valley. Dew points are climbing as we speak. They're actually making it up into the mid and lower and mid 70s over portions of eastern Texas, and we expect that the moisture will actually remain in place throughout the day, and this is a consequence of a developing surface low back over in West Kansas, and as that surface low intensifies, so will the wind field, and therefore so will the moisture fetch or the moisture transport coming out of the Gulf of Mexico. Storms in place right now across central Oklahoma. We do have a line that's organizing just west of Oklahoma City, and I really think that once that line makes it through Oklahoma City, they can finally breathe a sigh of relief. But until then, the threat for severe weather, including tornadoes, remains in place. A lot of central and eastern Oklahoma is feeling the threat as we speak. There are two tornado watches out. At the top of the hour, that watch, or those two watches, will be replaced with a single watch, which will cover a large portion of Oklahoma and Texas, and that will go until 4 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Let's zoom in on what's happening in the vicinity of Oklahoma City. This is the tornadic supercell that I was mentioning earlier. Doppler indicated rotation on that, so there was a warning issued. That storm has now moved off to the northeast, but the real threat actually remains throughout most of this quadrant of Oklahoma for the rest of this morning. And as we want to emphasize that this has the potential to be the second day in a row of an outbreak of severe weather, and that includes states like Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Texas, and as we get into the evening hours, as the moisture and the wind fields start to move east and northeast, we may very well have to talk about southern Illinois, western Tennessee, and western Kentucky. So we're going to be watching this all day long. Back to you, Marshall.
John, thanks a lot. Oklahoma Governor Frank Keating has been out surveying the damage in South Oklahoma City this morning. He says it'll take some time before those residents will be able to recover.
This weather system was incredible. 1,000 homes destroyed in South Oklahoma City, 30 to 40 confirmed deaths so far. As far as the eye can see, it really is surreal, just like behind us. Utter devastation. Is going to be a long time cleaning up, a long time picking up, and we'll make it, but it's a very, very bad situation.
Keating activated 500 National Guard troops to help cope with the disaster, and he's also contacted the federal government for assistance. Stay tuned to the Weather Channel all day long today. We'll help you through this, as it looks like it's going to be a very busy day and unfortunately a very stormy one in the central and southern plains today. Check us out at weather.com if you're at work or in your home office as well. Now we'll take you back to the studio with Heather Tesch.
Thank you, Marshall. Thank you, Marshall. Once again, I do want to remind you folks of some of the areas where we are going to watch very carefully as we head through the daytime hours for the potential for more severe conditions and possible more tornadoes breaking out throughout this region. We do have other weather to talk about, and in the northeast we have some dreary gray conditions for a lot of folks that are heading out. Boston, 50 for your temperature right now. New York, 55. And in the areas where we have the cloudy gray conditions, we have temperatures that are cooler. Where we're seeing more sun, that's where the temperatures are warmer right now. You can see some of the rainfall that we are seeing. You can see a lot of it around Hartsford, Boston. You can see the wet conditions coming down in your area. It's going to continue to swing around, so you're getting a bit of a break right now in New York, but you certainly could see some more of the wet conditions moving in. Philadelphia, you're okay right now, but you can see through portions of Pennsylvania, we do have the wet conditions. Look for the rainfall in this area here. Step outside, and you're going to see those temperatures much warmer and more sunshine as you head out towards Pittsburgh and also Detroit, where that temperature will be close to 80 degrees for today. Atlanta, you're at 76. Birmingham, 73 right now. We will watch the potential out here for the severe weather today, but as we move to the east, fairly quiet conditions. Atlanta, 82 for you. Charlotte, 84, and look for a mix of sun and clouds. In Flint right now, 71. Cleveland, 72. Cincinnati, you're at 73 degrees. Minneapolis, you're at 71. 65 in Des Moines. We are watching some areas with some rainfall. We have a little bit of thunder and lightning around this region, but most of the activity certainly to the south. But we could see some of those strong storms spreading to the north as we head through the day, and we'll certainly be keeping our eye on this region. So I hope you will stay tuned throughout the day here to the Weather Channel. Seattle, you're at 41 right now, 44 in Portland. San Diego, your temperature is 57. And as we head through the day, we're going to continue to see some wet conditions in the Pacific Northwest with temperatures in the 50s, and we'll see some 60s in San Diego and Los Angeles. We're going to have much more coming up throughout the morning. We hope you'll stick around right here at the Weather Channel.
This program was sponsored by GM Buy Power. Find the exact car you want. Comparison shop the competition. GMBuyPower.com.
What if you could find the exact car you want, in the color you want, at a dealer near you, just by moving a mouse?
Silver's nice.
No, red.
Gold?
Black. Well, now you can.
It's our new website.
Introducing GMBuyPower.com.
At Wyndham Hotels and Resorts, we have a way of performing for our guests. A way of listening. Even a way of surprising. So it should come as no surprise that Wyndham is the official hotel of another extraordinary performer, Cirque du Soleil.
Here your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Hello, I'm Heather Tesch at the Weather Channel. This is TravelWise, and we're trying to keep you informed today of some of the severe weather that we are seeing now and that we continue to expect, or we expect to continue seeing as we head through the afternoon and the evening hours. Yesterday, a very deadly outbreak of tornadoes and severe weather hit hardest Kansas and Oklahoma, where we had several deaths due to the tornadoes, and we had quite extensive damage in this region. We're hoping to get you folks prepared for today because we do expect to see more very dangerous weather setting up today, and indeed we're already seeing some of that. You can see right now some of the stormy conditions that we are watching through Oklahoma into Kansas, and we're seeing some of that stretching down into Texas right now. We'll continue to watch that. Mississippi, seeing some of the active weather in your direction as well. And you can see some of the lightning strikes showing up here on our map right now, and some of the areas that we are watching very closely. If you're going to be traveling through these regions, certainly stay tuned to the Weather Channel. Have your radio on if you're doing some traveling. Don't get in your car and to drive through any of this stuff. It's really much safer to stay tucked away at home. If you need to run some errands, if you can put them off a day, or if you can put off your travel a day, it's really the smartest thing to do. A lot of folks caught off guard yesterday during rush hour when some of the storms came through in Oklahoma City. Also, I want to mention that we do have in the Northwest, if you're doing some traveling, some dreary, cloudy conditions, I should say, in the Northeast, and it's just sort of going to be a wet day for folks in Boston. We're seeing some spotty activity today in New York, spotty around Philadelphia as well. Again, the area that we're most concerned about today is going to be in the middle of the country. This is where we have the greatest threat for some of the severe weather. Now, we're already seeing some of the severe thunderstorm warnings in effect through this region. We're seeing some in Mississippi as well. It looks like today, as we head through the day, this area in the gray here, that's our greatest potential, where we could not only see some of the severe thunderstorms, but also some potential tornadoes outbreaking later on. And in the areas in the red, still a very strong risk of seeing some of the severe storms. So it will be a very rough afternoon. You want to stay tuned and keep informed. And it's a good idea if you know somebody who can't stay tuned into the television. Maybe they're at work or they're off doing something today where they're not near a television set. Give them a call. Just let them know what's happening so that they are prepared when some of the weather comes into their direction. You can see we already have some of the very active storms now moving once again through Oklahoma. Oklahoma got hit very hard yesterday. We're seeing it again today. And you can see some of the storms now not quite as hard hitting as they head up toward Kansas City right now. Here's a look around the nation, and you can see New Orleans, Houston, Dallas, all possibly some thunderstorms in those regions. Quieter as we move to the east. Wet conditions in the northeast for today, and we will continue to see more of that.
Welcome to Louisiana. Enjoy your ride. This year is Franco Fest. A year-long statewide celebration of Louisiana's French heritage, and you're invited.
For your free 300-page Louisiana tour guide and Franco-Fed events calendar, call 1-800-76-GUMBO today and ask about special vacation packages through Carlson Wagenlake.
There's lots to do in Louisiana during Franco-Fed. Learn all about our proud history. Teach your kids how to fish. And experience life on a Creole plantation. Elava!
For your free 300-page Louisiana tour guide and Franco-Fed events calendar, call 1-800-76-GUMBO today. Louisiana, come as you are. Leave different.
Jazzy Daddy, let's do it one more time.
Preen and Green does a great job preventing weeds in my garden. But it's the fertilizer in Preen and Green that makes my flowers so beautiful. It helps me take care of the garden, so Bob can spend all of his time on the lawn.
Discover the joys of weed-free gardening with Preen and Green.
You lost the address?
Relax, honey.
Listen, can the testosterone and let's call for direction.
The house has a new metal roof. It'll stick out like...
Yeah, like your butt in a bathing suit. That's it. Oh, that was it.
That was a metal roof.
Take a look at the new metal roofing. Call 1-888-METAL-ROOF for a free video.
That's a metal roof? I'm hungry.
Here, can you cook something? Cook something, cook something. Cook something.
Now you can enjoy that great ballpark taste in no time. Introducing Ballpark Singles, individually wrapped for your microwave to steam in that flavor you love and the big juicy taste you expect from a ballpark.
You could be a chef.
I'll stick with the Ballpark. New Ballpark Singles. Such a big juicy taste, they plump when you cook them.
You can also get reliable forecasts from the Weather Channel through this radio station. What's the weather going to be like where you're traveling to tomorrow? Find out with a wake-up call from 1-900-WEATHER. Call 1-900-WEATHER, 95 cents a minute from a touch-tone phone.
I'll never use a traditional broker again. I've saved thousands on commissions.
Who knew it could be this easy?
Investing will never be the same again. Introducing E-Trade, the web's one-stop financial center.
I can get stocks, options, mutual funds.
Invest with 10 times more research, more power, security, just by calling this number.
I get in-depth information, analytical tools, absolutely free.
There's free real-time stock quotes, IPOs, still from $14.95 a stock trade. E-Trade, the #1 rated place to invest online and the first online financial site to be awarded the Web Trust Seal of Assurance.
Finally, I'm in control of my own money.
E-Trade. Open an account now and you'll receive up to 10,000 United Mileage Plus miles. For your free sign-up bonus, call this number now.
Why pay someone else to do what I can do for myself?
E-Trade.
This is a time of transition, from tranquil to turbulent. So stay with the experts, the Weather Channel, keeping you ahead of the storm.
Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Thank you for joining us here at the Weather Channel. Time now for Storm Watch. I'm Heather Tesch, and we have had a very active and certainly a very deadly overnight with tornadoes. We can take a look at some of the severe weather that we have been watching since yesterday evening into the overnight hours, and certainly hit very hard Oklahoma and Kansas. Oklahoma City, Wichita, two of the cities hit the hardest. A very deadly situation. Right now it looks like at least 45 people have died from this. We have numerous homes that have been destroyed in this region. We're going to have more information on this for you coming up at the top of the hour. But we do want to point out some of the areas where we have seen the outbreaks of tornadoes. This is yesterday, and as we head into today, we still have more severe weather that is occurring. And you can see, once again, Oklahoma has some reports of some severe weather. We've had reports of hail. Also, a brief tornado touchdown you can see here in the northeastern section of Oklahoma. Fortunately, there was no damage with this system being reported, so some good news there. But we certainly expect, as we head through the day, we are going to see some more deadly situations sitting up. So we do hope that you will stay tuned to the Weather Channel, and we will keep you informed throughout the day. You can see right now we still have very active weather through the plains, some of that stretching down into Mississippi. We have numerous lightning strikes in this region, and we are watching for some very serious weather to start happening as we move through the day. We're seeing some this morning. We expect to continue seeing some through the day. The greatest threat is going to be right in here, and I would suggest if you have family or friends that have not been watching the Weather Channel, or they have not been tuned to a radio or TV and don't know how serious this situation is, just give them a call, let them know so that they can prepare in case they get stuck in a severe weather situation. They will make some plans ahead of time and not get stuck in it like many folks have. You can see we also have a tornado watch in effect through much of Oklahoma, portions of Texas, and into Arkansas. This is until 4 o'clock this afternoon. We'll look now at some of the areas that we are seeing the thunderstorm activity. You can see some of that moving through Oklahoma once again getting hit. You can see some of the very active weather moving just to the north and east of Little Rock right now. And we also are seeing some active weather through portions of Mississippi. And we expect to see more of that through this region. And here, Kansas, you can see some of that, some of it stretching into Missouri. Not real serious right now, but we certainly anticipate that we could see more weather conditions becoming serious as we head through the day. Stick around at the top of the hour. We're going to have much more, including some tornado video.
An outbreak of tornadoes twists through parts of the plains, leaving paths of death and destruction. Is there more trouble on the way? Stay tuned for your complete forecast just ahead on Weather Center.
Michael, I say, Michael, would you like to hear a bird call?
Sure, Foghorn.
With MCI, a bird can call for just 5 cents a minute every Sunday and 10 cents a minute all week long. Now that, my friend, is a beautiful bird call.
The bird thinks he's a comedian.
Now stop stealing my material.
Call 1-800-Sundays to sign up.
Don't get me riled.
Throughout the day, we touch too much. Fortunately, Purell kills the toughest germs without water, and it won't dry your hands. To help stay well, Purell.
Preen's been keeping my flowers and garden weed-free and beautiful for years. Now they have Preen that'll do the same for my ground covers, which frees up Bob to concentrate on the lawn.
Discover the joys of weed-free gardening with new Preen for ground covers.
The change in seasons can be mild or disruptive.
Cold air clashing with warm air. It can cause big trouble.
Spring means new life or the growing threat of thunderstorms.
1,000. That's the average number of tornadoes in a year. 1,000.
Changes bring slow showers or dangerous thunderstorms.
We're on top of it. We have the experts, the tools, the knowledge around the clock.
The Weather Channel, keeping you ahead of the storm.
There are hundreds of lawnmowers to choose from, with a broad range of quality features designed to meet your needs. But the ones that have the edge to do the job right have one feature in common: a powerful, high-performance Briggs & Stratton engine. Make sure your lawnmower is powered by Briggs & Stratton, the power in power equipment.
I'm so happy, I'm floating on cloud nine. I'm so happy, I'm feeling swell, life is so sublime.
good about your car insurance bill.
That's happy, baby.
Geico Direct. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Now, your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Severe storms overnight spawn a rash of tornadoes that have crippled the southern plains. At least 40 people are dead in Oklahoma, 5 in Kansas, and more than 500 people are being treated at area hospitals. The damage to property is staggering. Reports of 2,000 homes being destroyed in both Oklahoma and in Kansas. The system responsible is menacing places farther east today, and at least 1,000 homes are damaged. Good afternoon. Welcome to this edition of Weather Center. Severe weather threatens the central U.S. again today. Already there are a number of active warnings and watches, including tornadoes on the ground. Let's get the latest now from Mike Bono in the Forecast Center. Mike?
Right, Bill. We've had a devastating outbreak of tornadoes since late afternoon yesterday in Oklahoma, parts of Kansas, and on up all the way to Nebraska. Now move that area just a little bit eastward today, and hopefully we won't have the same devastation, but already we've seen tornadoes today in Oklahoma, and tornado warnings and the sirens have been sounded already. You'll get an idea of how memorable this outbreak was by looking at this diagram, and you'll see where the cluster was. Tornado Alley, Oklahoma, once again reinstating its distinction as being the center of Tornado Alley. This was where everything was happening all at the same time, one after another, and they were strong and devastating tornadoes. Today already, we have a tornado that was reported near Bartlesville, Oklahoma, about 7:40 this morning, Central Daylight Time, and some wind damage and hail. Now, we'll show you where we're expecting things to develop during the day today. We have Oklahoma City on the western side of an area that we're calling as the threat of damaging thunderstorms. And Dallas, you're in the middle of an area of severe potential. That means wind damage, hail damage, and even the possibility of tornadoes. But just to the east of there, just east of Tulsa, south of I-44, I-30 runs right through it, northeast of Dallas, and Little Rock is right in the heart of an area of greatest potential throughout the day and evening into midnight. We have a tornado watch in effect right now in some of the same areas that got hit yesterday in east central Oklahoma, down toward Dallas. You're in that tornado watch. And also Fayetteville and Arkansas, and that tornado watch runs till 4 p.m. Central Daylight Time. John Scala has been watching this situation very closely ever since the first tornado touched down near Chickasha, Oklahoma yesterday, and he is in our He is our severe weather specialist, and he's been following the situation. He's going to show you what's going on right now and where possible tornadoes are. Dr. John?
Okay, Mike, you showed that watch area, that there's one tornado watch out currently. Those folks that live around that watch area, say in Arkansas, Louisiana, and portions north and east, there are no watches currently, but believe me, there's going to be more later on today. So at this point, I want you to be really aware of this potential for very strong storms later on today. Let's take you to the visible satellite imagery. We're going to loop this for you so you can take a look at some of the primary features that we're concerned with right now. There is a dry line extending from Kansas across Oklahoma and down into central Texas. So Dallas, you're still ahead of this particular line of convection. You may see some stronger storms later on this afternoon. We are starting to see a convergence boundary, perhaps even a warm front develop over Mississippi and Arkansas, and we're getting some warnings out now in southern Mississippi. We want to show you what the dew points look like in this portion of the country, and that's one reason why we're getting a little bit more concerned about Mississippi and Louisiana and into Arkansas. You can see the dew points now are climbing into the lower and mid-60s, and with a convergence boundary and higher dew points and a wind field more conducive for severe storms, we are definitely going to be watching western Mississippi here, as well as portions of Texas and eastern Oklahoma and then into Arkansas. I want to take you to, we're going to go to Mike Bono now, right back in the Forecast Center. Mike?
Thank you, Dr. John Scala. We have a live report for you coming in from Oklahoma City. We take you live to Oklahoma City now, where we join reporter Sean Kelly with KHBS TV, and we're seeing incredible devastation in that area. We go to Sean Kelly with KHBS TV in Oklahoma City.
Well, Mike, we have been surveying the area since sunrise here, and we were, to be honest with you, we were here at night, and you cannot imagine the devastation that is here. We are standing right next to a 6-lane interstate, and cars have been literally thrown across the interstate. This is at one time the Clarion Hotel. The entire top floor has been ripped off. The devastation is enormous. Some homes ripped clear off their foundation. Many deaths to report at this time. We are in an area that is reporting only 4 deaths, although we know the total number of deaths in Oklahoma City is much larger than that. Many people here are now comparing this to the bombing in Oklahoma City. And while there were certainly more deaths during that bombing, they are saying that the devastation of this is much greater. Mike?
Well, that certainly looks very impressive in Oklahoma City. Very unfortunate as well. And thanks for that live report from Oklahoma City. That's Sean Kelly with KHBS TV in Oklahoma City. Now, we do have some tornadic thunderstorms apparently developing in eastern Oklahoma, and the threat of more damage today. Back to our severe weather specialist, Dr. John Scala.
Thanks, Mike. I just wanted to finish up here with a little discussion about what's happening in Oklahoma as we speak. I want to take a look at the radar imagery. We're getting warnings out on this particular storm, and I'm going to move ahead to the Doppler out of Oklahoma City. It's this storm right here which has had a potential of producing tornadoes. We have warnings out for southern Latimer, southeast Pittsburgh, and northern Pushmataha County. That's this region right in here. This storm does show rotation in the velocity field on the Doppler radar, so those folks living in those counties and immediately downwind of that particular storm, you want to take precautions immediately. Back off to the west, Oklahoma City, you're starting to see the backside of the dry line. We hope that that's going to move through rather rapidly, and finally you can get out of what has been a very tragic situation. The footage that Mike just showed out of Oklahoma City is something that everyone in the mid-Mississippi Valley needs to take to heart, because the threat for very strong tornadic systems later on this afternoon is very real. We're going to keep you updated from here. Let's go back to Mike Bono in the Forecast Center.
Thank you very much, Dr. John Scala. Another aspect of this, and this could be a big story once the damaging tornadoes are done, is the flooding potential in a lot of Kansas and on into Missouri and even West Tennessee. That flood potential, with the potential for 2, 3, 4, maybe even more inches of rain to fall in one place as the severe weather goes through. What we're looking at is low pressure and a cool front dragging down from that low pressure system, and in tremendous energy aloft. Upper level winds are really coming through at high speed, coming together, and that will bring, again, a threat of damaging severe tornadoes today, and then possible flash flooding after that. So we will keep you on top of the situation, ahead of the situation here on the Weather Channel as we go through the day. Another potentially dangerous situation for severe weather in the middle of the nation. Now it's back to the studio, reminding you that weather.com will give you in-depth coverage on this severe weather as well. Bill Keneely is in the studio right now with more. Bill?
All right, Mike, thanks a lot. Again, the eastern states outside of the Mississippi Valley actually fairly decent today. The exception would have to be, again, the Northeast as that ever-present onshore flow continues. And today, it's going north. It's all the way to Bangor, running southward all the way to Cape May, New Jersey. The big slug of rain pretty much right here in central and southern areas of New England. That low pressure parked just offshore from Cape May, and it continues to fling the moisture in on that counterclockwise rotation. Let's show you what's happening. There's your rain coming into Bangor after a great day yesterday, not so pretty today. Same applies to Portland around Casco Bay. More rain in Boston and running down 95 down through Foxborough into Providence, catching rain likewise on 84, catching rain from near Sturbridge all the way down into the Hartford area. New York City is pretty much okay now. Some rain out towards the Phillipsburg area and on out 78 into the Lehigh Valley, but it's not near as bad as it had been. Southland right now in pretty good shape. Mike mentioned and John mentioned, looks like there is a developing warm front here, so we'll have to concern ourselves with the chances of increasing rain into Alabama by tonight. To the west we go. We have a big cool down underway. Snow developing in the high country in the Rockies. There's rain on the urban corridor in the greater Seattle-Portland area. Pretty good snow likely in the Cascades as well. And again, the snow is still going in Utah downwind of the lake around the Wasatch. Watch out there in the Cottonwood Canyons. Closing in on Portland, some rain approaching now, so watch out anywhere from south of Chehalis down to Kelso and on down the 5 into Salem. Snow into the Cascades, and there will be some fairly heavy snow at that, so use caution crossing on the passes. Quick check on the forecast now. We continue to find that rain working its way eastward into the Chicagoland area, so after a great run of weather, turning cooler and damper with time. It looks like the Northeast, we just can't seem to shake it. More rainfall into tomorrow. As long as we have the onshore flow, we will run the risk of the rainfall. Watch for the rain. It could be excessive rainfall in portions of Missouri, Arkansas. Remember now, this is a mountainous area. There could be some major problems out there around I-40 and also Interstate 44. So travelers, take heed of all the flash flood warnings and obviously the tornado warnings. We'll take a break. We'll spell it all out on TravelWise next.
There are hundreds of lawnmowers to choose from, with a broad range of quality features designed to meet your needs. But the ones that have the edge to do the job right have one feature in common: a powerful, high-performance Briggs & Stratton engine. Make sure your lawnmower is powered by Briggs & Stratton, the power in power equipment.
Throughout the day, we touch too much. Fortunately, Purell kills the toughest germs without water, and it won't dry your hands. To help stay well, Purell.
Preen and Green does a great job preventing weeds in my garden, but it's the fertilizer in Preen and Green that makes my flowers so beautiful. It helps me take care of the garden, so Bob can spend all of his time on the lawn.
Discover the joys of weed-free gardening with Preen and Green.
Now, your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
And our TravelWise sponsored by Disney Cruise Lines. A good day to get away, that's for sure. The Caribbean looks mighty beckoning, we'll say. Check out these numbers. Forecast tomorrow, highs of 88 in Grand Cayman, 86 around Santo Domingo, and how about an 86 over there in the islands, around the Leeward Islands over there by the Antigua area. So it's looking pretty good as you move on across all of the Caribbean. That said, it's not very pretty in the Northeast and is surely ugly today in the Plain States. Wet highways, including Interstate 35 around Des Moines, southward to KC. Very heavy rain now in the Kansas City area. Then you have your severe threat south of here. One interstate to concern ourselves with would be I-44 from Tulsa down the turnpike there in Oklahoma City, and also heading east out of Oklahoma City along Interstate 40. So the highest threat area does take in eastern Oklahoma, much of Arkansas, southern Missouri, then kind of working back into northeastern areas of Texas, including the greater Texarkana and Shreveport area as the afternoon wears on. This is going to be a big threat today into the overnight tonight. For now, tornado watch is up in much of eastern Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas, including Fayetteville, and down into the Dallas area, running eastward over to about Sulphur Springs on I-30. Show you the radar picture. Dallas seeing some storms now starting to fire. The bulk of these, though, are running to the north and east of the city of Oklahoma City. And once again, with that in mind, let's take it right in here and see what's going on. And I do want to remind everybody there is a tornado warning still in effect in southern Latimer, southeastern Pittsburgh, and northern Pushmataha counties. That would be down in this area, not too far from McAllister. Those are tornadoes, and again, they are tracking to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour. There's a high indication of a rotating cell there with this storm right about here. Also, very heavy rain, warnings out for severe thunderstorms in Tulsa and Creek counties. Take it easy on 44 today. At the very least, there's going to be a lot of standing water on the roadway, and unfortunately more very heavy rain crossing south of Oklahoma City, actually from Shawnee in the eastern side down to Norman, then running southward down 35, Pauls Valley and Ardmore. Watch out. Heading in Little Rock, some rough weather last hour in Lonoke County. That warning has been lifted. This rain heading up towards Batesville. There's your rain in southeastern areas of Kansas. More storms north of Jackson, approaching the Grenada and Winona area on I-55. And there again is that heavy rain. Topeka, Kansas City, Emporia, just a wash and rain on the Kansas Turnpike.
This program was sponsored by Disney Cruise Lines.
It's more than a cruise. It's a magic voyage filled with grown-up wishes and childhood dreams come true. On Disney Cruise Line, you can be part of a magical adventure that starts with a Walt Disney World vacation, then sails to our private island in the Bahamas. So call now and discover uncharted magic.
A month ago, my son Charlie drew a family portrait. I was the one on the couch. That's when I started taking Ginsana, a natural supplement. Ginsana every day gives me energy that lasts. Clinical proof says the pure ginseng in Ginsana helps my body use oxygen better to keep my natural energy going. All I know is I can feel it.
Find the energy. Feel your Ginsana.
You can run!
Never! And to get the most out of your workout, try new Ginsana Sport.
Just about everyone has heard of SAD, seasonal affective disorder. It's a type of depression that affects millions of us every year. It begins as the Earth enters the winter side of its orbit. That's when the North Pole is tilted away from the sun. The days are shorter everywhere north of the equator. This change in light is what makes the leaves change color. It tells animals to get ready for winter. It's a powerful influence on all living things, including people. This same change in light increases melatonin in some people. That causes drowsiness. And less light reduces serotonin levels, which can cause clinical depression. Of course, if you wait long enough, the leaves return to the trees, and the depression will lift. But for some, it seems like a long time till spring.
This program was sponsored by Movana, the advanced St. John's wort supplement.
Life. Sometimes it's just a matter of perspective. So try Movana, the advanced St. John's wort supplement rich in hyperforin to help stay positive about life. Safe, natural Movana helps keep life in perspective.
Today's lawnmowers have a broad range of quality features to help you meet your needs. The best ones have one feature in common, a Briggs & Stratton engine. Make sure your lawnmower is powered by Briggs & Stratton.
I could not believe how much cat hair the Whirlwind picked up.
The greatest feature? No bags.
It's like a cyclone going on inside my vacuum cleaner.
Cyclonic action. It's the concept of channeling air that makes a Eureka Whirlwind so effective.
I have really bad allergies.
The Whirlwind's true HEPA seal filtration captures all the particles right here, 100%.
No more sneezing, no more red eyes.
Let's talk about attachments. All you have to do is pull the hose out and you're in business.
Less than $200? You've got to be kidding. I'm king of the lawn, lord of all I survey. Look at the king's lawn.
Hey, King, how about getting to those gutters?
Greenview's two-way green power kills weeds and fertilizes for a lawn you'll be darn proud of.
Mine. All mine.
Hey.
Weather at the top of the world. Experience it for yourself with the Weather Channel on Everest. Watch coverage of the Millennium Expedition tonight at 9 on Weather Center.
While you were watching interest rates fall, Countrywide Home Loans was working on ways to help lower your monthly payments. While you waited, we figured out ways to help cut years off your loan. And while you were realizing there's never been a better time to refinance your home, we were coming up with ways you could do it with no out-of-pocket costs. Now, we're ready.
Hello, thank you for calling Countrywide Home Loans. This is Maria. How may I help you?
The rest
Maria. Hi, this is David. Yeah, we just talked.
is up to you. Don't wait any longer.
Give me just one moment and I'll pull up your file. Okay, great. Here it is. Yes.
Call 800-EASY-877 now or go to countrywide.com. We never stop thinking about what you need, and that makes refinancing at a great rate easy. Really.
The Weather Channel is brought to you by this cable or satellite provider. Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel. Coming up, get the forecast for the next 7 days in your weekly planner.
Shaking up healthy cooking with Mrs. Dash.
Today, I'm cooking with skinless, boneless chicken breasts. Sure, they're fast and healthy, but they need help, like Mrs. Dash, garlic and herb. Hey, don't they look better already? Just saute with a bit of olive oil. You can be generous with Mrs. Dash. It's 100% natural herbs and spices. There's no salt or MSG, just the good stuff. Make a sauce with lemon juice and a little mustard. That's Mrs. Dash, garlic herb chicken.
Mrs. Dash is shaking up healthy cooking. Call for more recipes.
All right, let's check out our jet stream now and see where this trough low pressure is heading, and it's going to very slowly work its way, we think, to the northeast. All the while, this stubborn system off of the New England coast reluctantly pulling up towards the Maritimes, but not a whole lot of downtime here for the sunshine to come back out. If you're in New York and Buffalo, New York especially, more rain rotating your way by Friday. Southwestern states getting into summertime may see triple digits in the Phoenix area as early as the day after tomorrow and then right into the weekend. More onshore flow, though, for the northwest. Show you the maps now day to day. Start you off tomorrow. The system now is pretty much here. It's going to slide northbound slowly, but there's still going to be a lot of potential to cause destruction or at least severe weather into Missouri down into Arkansas. So we'll have to watch this. There's going to be ample opportunity to draw a very juicy air northbound as well. So severe weather, one aspect from Fargo and the Twin Cities down to Little Rock. The other aspect could be excessive rainfall from the Ohio Valley to the Tennessee Valley and right on down towards the Gulf Coast area. Any rain for the Middle Atlantic, fairly isolated, I'd say, later on in the daytime. And again, there's that narrow little window of dry from Buffalo down to about Atlantic City. That'll fill in quickly. By Thursday, the rainmaker gets over there into Harrisburg and slides into the Philadelphia area. Big system really spinning like a top right there over Michigan. The trailing front starting to pivot its way through East Tennessee into a lot of Alabama. The upside to it could bring some welcome rainfall in Birmingham and Atlanta and eventually getting into the Middle Atlantic area, but it may come at a price, so be on your guard. Getaway day Friday. Travelers along the Interstate I-80 here, also I-95 from Baltimore down towards Savannah, Georgia. Factor that in. Coming up on Saturday, a slow, arduous process of drying things out now across the Ohio and Tennessee Valley area. Saturday into Mother's Day, actually, we're looking better. In time, most areas looking a lot better as we close out the weekend. Trending into Monday now, still some risk of rain, I'd say, for portions of the upstate in New York. There's going to be a low milling about eastern areas of Canada. More low pressure starting to work out of western Canada. And as it does dip down, it may scoop some juicy air northbound. This ought to be a relatively fast mover, we hope, so nothing like its predecessor. There's going to be warm air today and tomorrow. Enjoy it. 80s maybe getting up towards Pellston, Michigan, and up around Traverse City on that beautiful Grand Traverse Bay. But then cooling down some Wednesday, cooling further by Thursday now in this area. The warm air hangs tough, pushing 80 in Washington. And as we rotate Friday into Saturday, coolest of air sliding into the Great Lakes area. And then on Mother's Day, this is not a bad regime here. 80s running from Wilmington, North Carolina to Texas. And there's that excessively hot weather forecast in Phoenix. All the while, the coolest of air will bottle up in the Rockies. We're seeing some fairly low snow levels too, so travelers west of Denver factor that in on I-70. Retreating warm air for the southeast at least. Lows back in the 50s in Atlanta Friday. By Saturday, a big slug of 40s now into the Ohio Valley. And then the air starts to moderate finally on Mother's Day. Check out that weekend outlook now. A couple of events to pass along your way. Cinco de Mayo Festival in Portland, Oregon. The Rose City looking very good on Saturday. The Albany Tulip Festival in the Capital District. Maybe a risk of a shower, 74 on Sunday in the Capital District of New York. Still looks like chances of rain here Saturday as well. This low, very stubborn to pull on out. By Mother's Day, most of it up into Quebec. Still a lingering threat of rainfall in the Appalachians. And then we have dry weather and warm weather from Dallas all the way to Charleston, South Carolina. Severe threat very high today. Again, tornadoes, destructive tornadoes in Oklahoma yesterday. This could be a problem in Missouri and Arkansas today.
Coming up on Weather Center, an outbreak of tornadoes tears through the southern plains, leaving death and destruction behind. Could stormy weather now send trouble your way? Details just ahead.
So you spot a termite. Problem is, he's just one of many. Beat the termites with the Terminix team and our termite baiting program, featuring Centricon. Call 1-800-TERMINIX. No bugs, no hassle.
Shaking up healthy cooking with Mrs. Dash.
Today, we're cooking with skinless, boneless chicken breasts. Sure, they're fast and healthy, but they need help, like Mrs. Dash, garlic and herb. Hey, don't they look better already? Just saute with a bit of olive oil. You can be generous with Mrs. Dash. It's 100% natural herbs and spices. There's no salt or MSG, just the good stuff. Make a sauce with lemon juice and a little mustard. That's Mrs. Dash, garlic herb chicken.
Mrs. Dash is shaking up healthy cooking. All for more recipes.
Preen's been keeping my flowers and garden weed-free and beautiful for years. Now they have Preen that'll do the same for my ground covers, which frees up Bob to concentrate on the lawn.
Discover the joys of weed-free gardening with new Preen for ground covers.
Allergies making your home unlivable?
Then remove pollen and dust by having a Space Guard high-efficiency air cleaner installed.
Gesundheit.
And stop living under the same roof with dirty air. Space Guard. Nobody makes clean air easier.
For professional Space Guard installation, depend on your local heating and air conditioning contractor. Space Guard. Nobody makes clean air easier.
Now, your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
You are seeing nature at its worst. Devastating tornadoes leveling entire communities across Oklahoma and Kansas. There are reports of at least 45 people dead, and authorities fear that number could climb even higher as rescuers desperately search for survivors. Good afternoon. Welcome to this edition of Weather Center. Severe weather again threatening the central U.S. today. Already there are a number of active warnings and watches in effect. Let's get the latest now from Mike Bono in the Forecast Center. Mike?
Right, Bill. Devastating tornado outbreak yesterday in anywhere from Oklahoma all the way up to South Dakota, with 40 people confirmed dead right now in and around Oklahoma City, and another 5 near Wichita, Kansas. We can take a look at the swath, the aerial swath that this major tornado outbreak took, now clustered from the Wichita area through Oklahoma City. This was from late yesterday afternoon into last night, and again reconfirming the name of Tornado Alley. This is where the action was yesterday and where the worst tornadoes are usually clustered if you go over the years and years of records in the United States. And here we go again. We had a tornado near Bartlesville at 7:40 Central Daylight Time this morning. We've had tornado warnings since then. We have severe thunderstorms beginning to develop in Arkansas and Mississippi right now, such that the threat area, the principal threat area, has been moved eastward a bit since yesterday, and thank goodness. But still, in the severe threat, meaning damaging thunderstorm winds, hail, goes through Oklahoma City and west of Dallas. But the greatest potential, that would mean worse damage from large hail, wind, and again, possibility of tornadoes, southeast Missouri, just east of Tulsa, just east of Dallas. But Little Rock, you're in the heart of our dangerous area of greatest potential today. We already have a tornado watch in effect, taking in 3 states, parts of Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. It includes Dallas, it includes Tulsa, Fayetteville, Arkansas, till 4 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So we are primed, the atmosphere is primed again for another day of damage and severe storms. Our Dr. John Scala, he's our severe weather specialist, is taking a look at it. He's been watching it since last night, the situation, and has some information for us and some analysis on what's going on right now. Dr. John?
Okay, thanks, Mike. Well, as I continue to look at the observations, I've just finished doing an upper air analysis. It's just amazing what we're seeing. The ingredients coming together to support, I think, once again this afternoon, another outbreak of severe thunderstorms, and likely we're going to see a fair amount of tornadoes with this as well. Let's take a look at the large-scale perspective using the visible imagery here. We're putting this into motion, and the key things to note are the severe storms which are developing right now in Mississippi appear to be forming on some kind of convergence boundary or warm front. There is a dry line extending now through portions of Kansas, western Oklahoma into Texas, and in between, if you follow the cloud field, you see some clouds are moving off to the north, and actually some clouds are moving off to the east. So this area right in here has what we call a difluent pattern to it. What that means is this is enhancing the upward vertical motion, and the bullseye, unfortunately, is right over Arkansas. Now, before we get later on this afternoon, we've got things to deal with right now. We've got storms occurring in portions of Oklahoma and across Mississippi and then down towards Texas, and you can see that's right where the highest dew points are located. So very warm, moist air is being transported from the Gulf of Mexico into the threat area. Current storms, we've had warnings out for several counties in southeastern Oklahoma as a consequence of that particular storm. Off to the west is a linear arrangement of storms running north and east down to southwest. That's moving rapidly off to the northeast. And if we zoom in just a little bit further, we do have a tornado warning out now for Latimer County in southeast Oklahoma, valid until 12:15 Central Daylight Time. Latimer County is right in here. That is that particular storm. And in fact, the Doppler here is indicating some kind of a hook echo associated with this, so I would expect there's probably Doppler indicated rotation on this particular storm. So if you're in Latimer County or in the vicinity of Latimer, like the city of Wilburton or Pateau down to up to the northeast, you want to take precautions immediately for this potentially dangerous storm. Well, we're starting to see more and more activity now in the lower Mississippi Valley, eastern Oklahoma, and I think this is going to be the trend for the rest of the afternoon. Very strong wind fields in place, and they're only going to increase with time. And as a factor of that, we're going to see more warm, moist air coming in out of the south. This is really going to be an event this afternoon, so folks in several states in the lower Mississippi Valley, you want to stay tuned. Let's go back to Mike Bono in the Forecast Center.
Thanks very much, Dr. John Scala, our severe weather specialist. We can show you now what some of these tornadoes looked like late yesterday. Into Oklahoma, this incredible video near Cement, Oklahoma, southwest of Oklahoma City. You're looking at a dramatic multiple vortex tornado. There was a large and very intense tornado, and another smaller one rotating around a parent tornado. This was before the storms raced northeastward toward Oklahoma City. Very, very dramatic video. Also, we've been looking at Oklahoma Governor Frank Keating and listening to what he has to say. He's out surveying the damage in South Oklahoma today, and he says it will take some time before those residents are able to recover.
This weather system was incredible. 1,000 homes destroyed in South Oklahoma City, 30 to 40 confirmed deaths so far. As far as the eye can see, it really is surreal, just like behind us. Utter devastation. Is going to be a long time cleaning up, a long time picking up, and we'll make it, but it's a very, very bad situation.
Well, Governor Keating has activated 500 National Guard troops to come to the area, and he's also contacted the federal government for assistance. Now, today we're looking at this dramatic satellite photograph, and again, you can see the dry air punching through in Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, that dry air mixing with intense moisture or plentiful moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. So our dry line moves eastward today. The greatest threat is a little bit east of where it was yesterday, hopefully east of Tulsa and Dallas and Oklahoma City. But again, we could even draw that right to the Mississippi River. Threats in Arkansas and even northwest Louisiana. We now have numerous, not tornado, but severe thunderstorm warnings in Mississippi, Holmes County, Rankin County. We have severe thunderstorm warnings in northwestern Scott County, Mississippi, and Neshoba County, Leake County, and Attala County in Mississippi. And if you look up there in Arkansas, White County in central Arkansas also has a severe thunderstorm warning. Now, another possibility or a threat with this whole system is too much rain. Some of these storms will eventually slow down after their tornadic threat is almost done, and we will get intense rainfall, excessive rain from Kansas all the way down to Tennessee, including Missouri. So the flood threat is out there. We're looking at locally 3 inches or more in that area, and possibly 4 or 5 inches in places. So a multiple problem now. You can even see a little bit of snow in the Rockies, as is typical in spring severe weather outbreaks. But the probability of more damaging thunderstorms and tornadoes today, and then the probability of some flooding. So you'll want to stay tuned to the Weather Channel hour by hour and minute by minute, especially if a tornado or severe thunderstorm warning is issued in your area. Bill Keneely has more right now in the studio. Let's go to Bill.
All right, Mike, thanks a lot. Once again, the eastern states actually catching a bit of a break, provided you're roughly from, about Buffalo to Wilmington, Delaware, and southward. Meanwhile, the northeast still in the clutches of a nasty little nor'easter, if you will. We continue to find the onshore flow. The rain has been keeping on as well. We've had over a half an inch now in Boston, over a half an inch in Portland, most of that last hour, by the way. In the last couple of days, we've had close to 2 inches of rainfall on the Cape around Hyannisport. As you get inland, it is light rain. It's still kind of a raw deal, though, all the way into the Mohawk Valley, but the lion's share of the rain is on the coast. There's some rain around Albany and up there towards Clifton Park on the Adirondack Northway. Some more rainfall in the Lehigh Valley out on 78. The bulk of the rain, though, around Beantown now. And once again, the rain keeps on keeping on all the way out there on the Mass Pike to about Springfield. More rain, fairly heavy, as mentioned, around Portland, Maine, all the way to Bangor, then running southward down towards the Cadillac Mountain and Mount Desert Island area. Southland in good shape today, as mentioned, a good day. To be honest, we could use some rainfall in Huntsville and Atlanta and Knoxville. We'll get it. It's not going to happen today, but it will likely happen starting, about afternoon time, I'd say, on Wednesday. Farther west, we continue to find this cooler pattern now. The cooler air has dug down. The warm, unstable air has been pretty much scoured out now. Still some snow downwind of, let's see, the Salt Lake City area, so that would be in the Wasatch, and also some snow in the high country of Colorado, and plenty of snow continues around the Cascades. Some of that very, very heavy. Take it easy on 90, cutting through there on the Snoqualmie Pass. Looking at Portland, some rain moving into the Rose City, some more rain in the Capital District around Salem. Temperature is not all that warm. 46 now in Portland, a mere 41 in Boise. Even around the Denver area, checking in at 50. The snow will fall in the high country west of Denver, primarily the San Juans and the Sangre de Cristo Mountains down into New Mexico. Some areas could see another 3 inches. Big news, obviously, as Dr. John Scala and Mike have talked about. Severe threat increasing. Watch out St. Louis. Watch out Memphis. Jackson, already some stuff going on near you guys. More is coming into the Ohio Valley tonight. Meanwhile, downstream, the rainmaker very reluctantly trudging northbound. The west is going to dry out. The midsection gets wet. We could see excessive rainfall. This is a slow mover, so watch out in the high country there in the Ozarks in Missouri, the Ouachita Mountains of eastern Oklahoma and western Arkansas. Ahead of all this, a gorgeous day. Enjoy it. If you're in the Motor City, highs ought to be right around 80. Traveling, big concerns primarily in Oklahoma and Texas. Details coming up on TravelWise next.
Mom, did that file open yet? No.
Buy a Gateway PC with the YourWare program and you can trade it in toward the purchase of a new one in 2 years.
Mom!
So you'll never have an old, slow computer. Call or come in. Get a Gateway Essential PC with an Intel Celeron processor for $28 a month.
For more information about Gateway, visit us at our website.
Everybody's doing it. Catch the wave. It's gonna take you away. Cause doing it is hot. With everything you've got. Doing it we do. On the water, in the sun. Everybody's doing it good, clean fun. Everybody's doing it we do.
To look at the best-selling boats in the world, visit your Sea-Doo dealer.
Now, your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
All right, travelers, the big news, obviously, the very heavy rainfall moving across the plain states now. Heavy rain in Kansas City, coming down into southeastern Kansas. Still have a warning out in Cherokee County near Baxter Springs. That is a severe thunderstorm warning. Also, very, very heavy rainfall on the Will Rogers Turnpike there coming into Tulsa. Tulsa itself has had about an inch of rain over the last hour right there on Interstate 44. So that said, very wet highways, including I-44. The rain will get heavier and more concentrated in St. Louis by this evening. KC, you can't get any heavier or more concentrated for that matter, but there will be embedded thunderstorms here. Highest risk areas I'd watch late today if you're out there on Poplar Bluff and over by Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Anybody with travel designs down 55, factor that in. Likewise on 30 and 40, coming out of Memphis on 40 and Little Rock, and coming on 30 out of Little Rock down into Texarkana. Factor that in for your daily trips today. There will be severe weather and it will be building south and east. Right now, the worst of it appears to be over most of eastern Oklahoma and a lot of southeastern Kansas, and now getting into western areas of Arkansas. That said, the Storm Prediction Center has tornado watches up in much of eastern Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas, including Fort Smith and Fayetteville, and southward down into the Dallas and Fort Worth Metroplex. Checking out the radar, you can see the bulk of the rain in Oklahoma. Let's start in Texas. We'll work our way northbound in the Dallas area. The worst of it out here on 287, and that would be running along the Red River east of Wichita Falls. More storms popping up around Paris and Mount Pleasant, and these are all working rapidly northeastward. Watch that storm there by Antlers on the Red River in southeast Oklahoma. Oklahoma City appears to be catching a break. The worst of it east on 40, near Shawnee, and south on 35, near the Pauls Valley area, approaching Ardmore. Very heavy rain in Tulsa. Just had a report out of Bristow, which is a few miles south and west on the Turnpike, of 60-mile-per-hour wind and dime-sized hail. More rain approaching the Miami area and Commerce. And there's that big storm by Baxter Springs. Hail producers, yes, and I think heavy rain, and at the onset, very gusty wind. More rain in Arkansas now, north and east of Little Rock around the Seese area. More storms approaching the Winona and Grenada area in Mississippi on I-55. And more rough weather near Philadelphia, Neshoba County, and then back into the Adela County area. We've had rough weather here in the last hour as well. Farther north we go, into the Plain States. We continue to find rainfall spreading up into Nebraska and also into Iowa. Very soggy will be your trip on I-29. And again, it's just an inundation of rain around KC. Heaviest of rain south of town. Watch out on the Turnpike. And there's another route there, Highway 69, running down the eastern side of the state. Just a wall of rain right now.
Nobody seems to understand. This isn't just a bad headache.
It could be migraine. A migraine is more than just a bad headache. It's a medical condition. 1 out of every 6 American women suffers from migraine. Many don't even know it. Migraine symptoms include intense headaches, accompanied by either nausea or sensitivity to light or sound, or a family history of similar headaches. Fortunately, your doctor has advanced treatment options that can break through migraine pain and symptoms without drowsy side effects, so you stay alert and active. To find out more, call this toll-free number now. Glaxo Wellcome will send absolutely free their migraine information kit explaining today's treatment options. There's even a useful diary for recording symptoms and other things your doctor needs to know. Learn how to break through migraine pain. Call for your free information kit today at 1-800-990-4700.
She's managing her time right down to the dime with Sprint. Because now it's just a dime a minute on calling card calls, on calls to your Sprint 800 number, and all calls from home. Call 1-877-5-CONTACT and switch to Sprint. You can't control everything, but you can make the most of your time. Isn't that the point of contact? Switch now for a dime every time. Call toll-free 1-877-5-CONTACT.
Preen & Green does a great job preventing weeds in my garden, but it's the fertilizer in Preen & Green that makes my flowers so beautiful. It helps me take care of the garden. So